right, it's time for Open Forum Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is 𝗪𝗏 Fuhad. This is the show where, of course, we give you, the listeners out there, the opportunity to speak to any of the major issues as reported in our major daily newspapers in the country. And even if it's not reported, any issue that you think is important that we focus on, talk about, and of course, bring to the fore. That's the essence of the show. That's the philosophy of the show. That's the reason why we have this forum, and it's open to you listening to us out there, to call in, be a part of the show, maybe use our social media platform, Facebook, YouTube, to speak to any of the issues you consider very, very important to you at this time. My name is 𝗪𝗏 Fuhad. I have Kelvin in Wafili, who joins me every Thursday 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. To of course do this particular one. Again, the show has been created to give you more opportunity. Yes, more opportunity to speak to any of the issues you consider very, very important. Any issue at all. I think all through the week, I think the major issues have been more about the security situation of the country. And I think apart from the issue of insecurity in the country, I think we also have the issue of the economy that has been predominantly reported in our daily newspapers. But before we go into the major issues, because again, I've had to aggregate most of the issues reported by some of our daily newspapers. I think I've about 13 of those issues we're going to be looking at. Like I said, it's open forum, it's interactive. We're streaming the show live on Facebook, so you can also watch the show on Facebook and also drop your comments and contributions on our Facebook platform. We are also streaming on YouTube, so you can also watch the show and be a part of the show by dropping your comments and contributions on our YouTube platform. And of course, I'm sure when we look at all of the issues, what has been reported so far in the course of the week and what is dominating the reports today, we'll open the phone lines and then of course start to take your comments and contributions. Don't be seriously interactive. That's why I'm here, to take your calls, contributions. Let's talk about these issues. Let's continue to set agenda. We can't stop talking. We have to continue to talk. We have to continue to engage the issues, and then I think at the end of the day, we are all looking for a better society, a better Nigeria, in Nigeria that works for the greater majority of Nigerians. Good afternoon, Kelvin. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Fuad. It's a pleasure to always be here. Good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon, Lagos, and from wherever you're listening to us from.
All right, Kelvin, let's see what has been reported so far. You've been following the news, you've been aggregating the news, you've been putting the news together. We can't take everything that has been reported. I think there are key issues that have been dominating the report in the course of the week. So let's have that, and then of course we'll now go straight to what is majorly reported in the papers today. So let's just have them. What do you have for us?
Thank you for in no particular order. We have the widespread probe by the EFCC or ex-governors. Presently they are handling the former Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano, yes, over a 4 billion naira scandal. And as we speak presently, he's I think he's the fourth governor of Anambra State. He served within from March 17, 2014. Really, the security situation, of course, from there was still no fewer than 30 persons were killed later that night. So it's a major cause to worry. And of course, we are just hoping that the security agents will take up proactive actions and of course bring these perpetrators to book. Absolutely. And of course, we're also looking at the relocation of the CBA and of course FAN. It is the department, not the entire relocation of it. So there has been protests from the northern people, pressure groups, and of course there's Ali Ndume, who is the
senator,
the chief people senator from
Borno State.
Yes, he complained and said I think in his words, I think he said there will be political consequences. Yes, political consequences. Very correct. And of course, he was complaining that look, before the election, the president had rallied, came to the north and all. And the majority of going back and forth came from the north. So yes, he knows what's best to do. That he was taking advice from the Lagos guys and all. So there's a mixed reaction. Of course,
I think we have the sound bite if time permits.
Yes, and there has been a response to that from the special advisor on strategy to the president, who said, look, we're not looking at taking back Lagos to become
the federal capital territory.
Yes, you know.
Well, I think it's reported today. We'll look at all of that.
Yes, that was reported today. And of course, we go into the inflation issue we're experiencing. Currency depreciation. It's a big worry for us in Nigeria, because naira as at today in the parallel market is about 1,317 naira, and of course that's a big loss for Nigeria, and of course the naira as well. We are not doing very well in terms of when you put up different currencies in Africa. We are below performance, and of course the federal government needs to do something about to improve that. Of course, part of the causes of this inflation is also can be attributed to removal of the fuel subsidy, the over concentration on oil. Look, we have not diversified as much as we are supposed to do, and of course that has affected our currency.
So one of the things that dominates
so these are the issues we are going to be looking at, and of course the ones you have as well. Okay,
we'll like I said, we'll first take some of these headlines. So many issues dominating the media space at this time, but again we just have to look at the most important ones, and then of course take a few of those reports, and then of course ultimately we'll get to opening the phone lines for for our listeners to be a part of the show. Like I said, this show is majorly for our listeners. That's why it's called Open Forum, and it's almost like an extended version of the Open Mic Thursday. So you have an opportunity to call in and talk to any of the issues. We don't decide what you want to talk about. Just look at any of the issue. It could be any of the issues we're looking at as reported by the papers, or any of the issue you consider very important. You may not have been reported by the papers, but you think it's important that we talk about it. So it's Open Forum on mainland 98.3 FM. So it is a very big opportunity for you to continue to engage any issue you consider very important to you. Like I said, reading through most of the daily newspapers today, I have about 13 issues are considered very important. Some of them politics, some of them economy, some of them human interest stories, and of course it's important to look at some of these issues so that we keep ourselves abreast of developments in the country. Of course, the major issue, and has been consistently reported by almost all the newspapers today, is the issue of Plateau State, insecurity in Plateau State, and over 30 has been killed. Houses burnt as gunmen defy curfew. We're going to take that report from the Vanguard newspaper. Like I said, it's reported by almost all the newspapers today, and it's a very big worrying issue as we speak. The governor declared curfew 24 hours, and despite the curfew, these killers still went on a rampage. Sacking homes, burning down churches, burning down mosques, burning facilities, burning a whole market, and then killing 30 persons. 25 were women, 5 were kids. It's become a very serious issue, and so we'll try and look into that issue. There's also the travel story of the president. Tinubu off to France on private visit. We're going to take that report from the Daily Trust newspaper. The president is out of the country to France, and as been reported by 𝗪𝗪𝗪 jury, spokesperson, it is on a private visit. There have been reactions to that. People have been talking about that. So we'll take that story and also look at some of the reactions that is trailing that particular trip, this current trip of the president to Paris, France. We also have 10 Ibadan explosion victims still missing. So I think as at the last count, the casualty figures shows that 5 persons have been killed, died from that incident. That's the official figure, even though there are other reports saying that look, the casualty figures are far more than that. About 75 persons injured in different hospitals receiving treatment, but this report is saying that look, there are 10 persons still missing. So it means that look, the casualty figures could well go up, So, but that's been reported by the Punch newspaper. So we just look briefly at that particular report. Then there's this human interest story. Chinese national pleads for mercy over girlfriend's killing in Kano. I think we all remember this particular story of a Chinese national who stabbed his girlfriend to death, and now he's in court. He has pleaded guilty to killing the girlfriend, even though he's saying it's as a result of self-defense, and he's pleading for mercy, for leniency. But again, it's one story that is also very interesting, unfortunate, really a sad story, because again it involves the killing of a Nigerian by foreign national. But again, it is what it is. And I think for people who follow that story, it's still the story of, if you don't want to marry the man, don't go into it. Don't collect the man's money. And it's unfortunate the young lady has lost her life, and the man is still in court and is pleading for mercy. Chinese national pleads for mercy over girlfriend's killing in Kano State. That's also reported by the Punch newspaper. Like you said, 4 billion naira theft. The EFCC lines up 15 witnesses against Willie Obiano, the former governor of Anambra State. And the trial has started. The EFCC looks very serious about this particular one. But okay, you won't blame Nigerians who are not too excited about this whole trial thing. We've seen several governors marched or taken before the courts on trial of theft, money laundering, fraud, and all of that, without any closure to those cases. There's a long list. A long list. I think on Sunday it was one of the major issues on Political Roundtable, the desire of the EFCC to review some of the old cases and bring them up again. And people have said that, look, I remember my analysts, particularly Pastor 𝗪𝗪 Saheed, that said that, look, this is an old movie. That was the way he put it, that we've seen before, or where the EFCC starts a case against a former governor, a politically exposed person, or they talk tough, we're going to bring 10 witnesses who adjust our charges, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, the cases remain in court without any closure or conclusion. A long list. If we start to mention the names of some of them, Fᴏᴜᴜ is there, 𝗪𝗏 is there, a lot of them, that's up till today, the cases are still pending in court. So people are not saying that, look, we shouldn't get too excited about the Obiano situation, because again, it may just be one of those cases where it's all hot air, and at the end of the day the dust settles and nothing happens. But we'll look at the story. It's also one of the stories that I think has dominated the report in recent time. I think consistently the travels of the former governor of Anambra State with EFCC has also dominated reports. So we'll see how that goes. Then relief coming with more forex, reduced inflation. That's Mr. Yemi Cardoso, the CBN governor, who is assuring Nigerians, who is saying that, look, things are going to get better. Basically, that's what he's doing, saying that, look, there are things that are being done, there are policies that are coming up, and that, look, when everything begins to work together, work for us, we may begin to see reduced cost of PMS. We may begin to see drastic reduction in inflationary rates. It's saying that, look, it could well drop from the current 28.9% to 21.4%. So telling us that, look, he is on top of the situation. They know what they are doing. Like I told Sage earlier in the morning, it sounds like a man who is committed to doing the job. It looks like a man who is really interested in fixing the problem. But we simply that we ask ourselves, is he overwhelmed? Is the job overwhelming? Is the situation overwhelming? Because as of today, Kelvin, there's a serious issue with forex. I think the naira is exchanging for close to 1,400 naira. It's scary, I must tell you. The pounds is exchanging as at yesterday at 1,700 naira.
Even the Canadian dollars used to
be 700, 600. It's crossing the 1,000 naira mark, and that's a big problem. It's something that Nigerians are talking about, and it's a big cause for concern. So Mr. Yemi Cardoso understands that, look, his job is well cut out for him. He needs to do something, because whatever happens, the buck stops at his desk, and I'm sure he's feeling the heat already. Absolutely. He's really feeling the heat.
That's a sensitive position,
very sensitive, and I think he just has to come up with something to address the concerns of Nigerians on some of these issues. It's also reported, I think by the Nation newspaper, will try and look at that particular story. Then Okupe, that's Doyin Okupe, who recently resigned his membership from the Labour Party. A very darling Mr. Doyin Okupe, not in Dume for faulting relocation of CBN fund to Lagos. Again, there's a lot of back and forth. People have continued to talk about this particular issue, especially the position of Senator Ali Ndume on this particular one. Like I said, we have the sound bite. If time permits, we may just listen to it again, because again, there are strong words. He didn't mince words in what he was saying.
Kept on hammering on Lagos boys,
talking about Lagos boys. Apart from Lagos boys, he talked about, that one is also very important, really. about the fact that these policies are for deliberately to underdevelop the North. That's the second issue. And the fact that, look, they are taking stock, and if the president decides to go ahead with this policy, there will be political consequences. We ask ourselves, what could be the political consequence of relocating a department, some departments in the CBN and FAN, in which these agencies have said these are just for operational efficiency, operational reasons. It's not as if there's any other thing to it other than operational reasons to get the operations of these institutions to be more effective for the betterment of the whole of Nigeria. But it's turned to a political discourse, where we're now talking about tribalism, ethnicity, and I think it's also very, very worrying. And of course, it exposes the fact that Nigerians are heavily divided along this line. So we look at all of that and what Mr. Doyin Okupe is saying. What is the argument of Mr. Doyin Okupe? Because again, the way the paper has put, that's the Nation newspaper. Doyin Okupe knocks Ndume for faulty relocation of CBN FAN to Lagos. That's well captured in the Nation newspaper. Then also an interesting story, very, very interesting story. Again, in recent time, we've been hearing about the fact that, look, Dangote refinery, after receiving about 6 million barrels of crude oil, has started production. Although the focus is supposed to be for Jet A1 and diesel. And of course, we've also been hearing that, look, the focus for now seems to be the local market. ipman has been discussing with him, major market has already discussing with him to get supply from the Dangote refinery. I think Nigerians are a bit excited that yes, eventually they say delay is better than it's not happening at all. Despite the delays, this was a refinery that was commissioned in May last year. It took almost 8 months down the line, but eventually production has started, and the outlook is looking good, at least for local supply. But the Daily Trust newspaper is saying that Arewa youths are telling the president that you sell crude oil to Dangote refinery in naira. That because it's this conversation around dollarizing the sale of crude oil to Dangote, whether it's going to be naira or in dollars. So the report is that Arewa youths are telling the president. I thought they would have actually focus that on the NNPCL, which is in charge of this. But they're telling the president that, look, supply Dangote refinery this crude oil in naira. We'll look at what they're saying, what their argument is on that particular one. And then, of course, PDP Labour Party asked questions on Tinubu's France private visit. Like I told you, there have been reactions as to this current private visit, quote unquote, of the president to Paris. And the PDP, as an opposition political party, and the Labour Party are asking questions. They are asking questions. That's in the Punch newspapers as to this current, visit of the president to France on a private visit. What exactly is a private visit? Because he's our president, and the assumption is that, look, he's not on this visit with his private money. So if he's on this trip with public funds, public facilities, which belongs to Nigerians, and he's our president, they deserve to know what this private visit is supposed to be. And public officials are not supposed to run any business while in government. So a lot of questions around this particular trip would also look at that. Like I said, it's open forum. You can join the show by talking to any of these issues if that you consider very, very important to you. And then a bit of politics, Kelvin.
Yes.
We're going to have 2 off-season elections this year, Ondo State and Edo State. Interestingly, these are 2 neighboring states, side by side, and they will be having their elections this year, November this year. So, but there's an update from Edo State. PDP has closed the sale of form. So if you're a PDP member, no more. There's no form is closed. But I'm sure that our friend, the Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu, must have gotten his form because he's been getting a lot of back and forth, a lot of basketballs between himself and the governor. What's supposed to be his benefactor, really? The way they started out, politicians and politics. Shows you that there's no permanent friends, just permanent interest. But the PDP has closed the sale of form, even though they've been able to rake in 235 million naira. Yes, if they've been able to make 235 million, and they have 11 aspirants, and I think if you do the mathematics, about 23.5 million naira for each form. So they've closed the sale of form. I know that the 𝗃𝐶, I think the form is still on sale. I just watched earlier in the morning. I was watching Pastor 𝗪𝗪𝗻𝗀, former governorship aspirant on the platform of PDP, now an 𝗃𝐶 member. I think he has also run on that platform before. So who has said he also picked the form and is interested in running. He will be running. That's on the platform of the 𝗃𝐶. So Edo is looking very interesting, Kelvin. 11 aspirants from the PDP so far have collected the form. Although, Kelvin, when it comes to people collecting form, the last presidential election has taught us a very big lesson. That you have people who collect form only to come and step down on the days of prime. The day before, on the present. You remember the 𝗃𝐶 presidential primaries, where people were just stepping down. People who collected form of 100 million naira, a lot of them were just stepping down. So, we have 11 of them. Who knows whether we just have pretenders? Do
we consider that a strategy to uphold some persons to be favorites to become?
We are not politicians, but from what we've heard about what politicians do, sometimes, like what we heard of the last primaries of the 𝗃𝐶 that produced Aṣíwájú Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu as a candidate who is now the president. That sometimes you have politicians buying forms for people, and it's a strategy maybe to dislodge the real opponents within the party. But again, what I'm just trying to say is that we've learned a lot of lessons from the fact that people buy forms. It doesn't really mean they are serious about the contest. Yes. You understand what I'm saying?
We only know the contenders at the very day.
And on that same days when you know the real guys, a lot of pretenders can buy these forms, and I think our politicians are rich, so a lot of times the cost of the form, the price of the form is not really anything to them. Like I said, 𝗃𝐶 sold their form for 100 million naira and people bought it and stepped down on the day of primaries. That should tell you something. So PDP closes sale of form, rakes 235 million naira in Edo as 11 aspirants have picked the form, and that's from the Punch newspapers. And then Abiodun, that's the governor Dàpọ̀ Abiodun of Ogun State, and the 𝗃𝐶 have kept mum after speaker's impeachment. The speaker has been impeached. He was impeached yesterday on allegations of corruption, mismanagement of fund, high-handedness, and a lot of allegations. But politicians, when they want to do their due, they have a list. They have a way of coming up. But I think from what we have gotten from Ogun State with some of our correspondents and guys on ground, I think it's been coming. This was eventually going to happen. There have been allegations against Mr. Oluomo, the speaker, and this was. I think there was even a time he was having some problems with the EFCC on misappropriation of funds and all of that. But the story here is that nobody has heard anything from the governor. I think yesterday the report was that the governor said the assembly members, I think 18 out of 21 of them, sat to impeach the speaker, and what they are saying is that the governor is not aware, he's not a part of all of this. But I know, and I'm old enough and from experience, that it is not possible for the State House of Assembly to impeach a speaker without the knowledge of the governor.
Nope, it's not possible.
Knowledge is different from influence. So I'm not saying that the governor influenced his impeachment, but there's no way all of that would have been planned, arranged, and it would happen, and then the governor is not. Because again, these are governors who have their legs, toes, eyes, and everything on their state assemblies. You understand the way we play politics. So I just think that they're just being economical with the truth. The reality is that the governor was aware, but whether it was influential to how that happened is another conversation entirely. But for now, the governor has not said anything. He has not even made any comments about it. And then the party too, the 𝗃𝐶 in Ogun State, have not also said anything. That's what the report is saying. So an interesting development from Ogun State. We've not also heard anything from Mr. Oluomo himself, the impeached speaker. We have a new speaker now in Ogun State. We've not really had anything as to this, because again, don't be surprised that he may still approach the courts to say, look, my impeachment was this, was that, and all of that. But that's the development in Ogun State. And then we have Ondo suffers, that's Ondo State suffers resurgence of kidnappings, killings, and banditry. Kelvin, we're talking about insecurity in Plateau State, the killings in Plateau State. We are looking at issues of banditry, kidnappings in Abuja. We're looking at even the Northwest with bandits disturbing farmers from going to farm and all of that. Now, this is a report from the Vanguard newspaper that in Ondo State, there's a resurgence of kidnapping, killings, and banditry. Of course, we can't forget in a hurry and there's even no closure to it here. The killings in Owo, the Catholic Church in Owo, you know, and up till today, there's no closure to that issue. More than 40 persons were killed in a Catholic church in broad daylight, in the middle of town, Owo town. And what this report is saying, we're going to look at the report, Kelvin, is that there's a resurgence of kidnapping, killings, and banditry in Ondo State. Again, we're talking about the widespread insecurity in different parts of the country. It's becoming very troubling. The southeast is not any better. Whether you like to this disturbance of whether you call it ESN or IPOB or non-gunmen, Imo State is the most troubled. So Anambra is not better. And again, people are asking, what's the strategy of this government to solving the problem of insecurity in different parts of the country? And that's why people are also saying that it shouldn't be at this time that the president will go on a private visit unless it's a very, very important visit. And that's why people are saying that, look, it's important for the president to come clear why he has to make a visit at this time that the home is burning, quote and unquote. And then lastly on my list here, Kelvin, is a human interest story. 𝗪𝗪 syndrome. A Nigerian graduate, you know, just within 24 hours has died as he arrived in the United Kingdom. Just within 24 hours. His name is Saheed Wahab. He got to the UK on the 𝗪𝗪, you know, and then within 24 hours he is reported dead. We'll look at some of these things again, and we're going to talk about it. So those are the major issues we have on Open Forum Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Saheed Fuhad. We have Kelvin Nwafili here, who of course is also helping us to keep track of all of the issues. Like I said, we're streaming the show live on Facebook. The show is completely interactive. It's an open forum, like everyone. Open mic, extended version of the open mic Thursday, for you to call in, air your views on any issue you consider very, very important to you at this time. I can see some messages already dropping on our Facebook platform, so you can also join the show, you know, by dropping your comments and contributions on any issue at all, any of the issues that I've highlighted on our Facebook platform. And then of course we're going to open the phone lines now while we engage the issues. Like I said, it's Open Forum Mainland 98.3 FM, and you have an opportunity to call in now. Call the number 09136 000 410, 09136 000 410. Any of the issues at all. We've talked about the fact that, look, the killings are still happening in Plateau State as we speak. A lot of talks, some of the pictures, Kelvin,
worrisome,
very, very troubling. You know, you don't want to even see what is happening. You know, the pictures are very, very bad. The impunity is also very disturbing. You know, the brazenness that these guys, the way they do these things, the
fact that they are unhindered, they take up these activities at different places, different times,
and you know, some of the villagers, some of the people in these communities are also calling out the security operatives, saying that they are complicit. Because again, the question is, how do you declare curfew? You know, when you declare curfew, the assumption is that, look, everybody should be at home, everybody should be able to move around. So when there's a curfew, how is it that it's easy for these killers to move around to kill innocent Nigerians? That's one big question. People are saying that, look, the governor declared curfew. So how do you declare curfew and then people are still able to move around to kill Nigerians? You know, so it's one, you know, thing that one question people are asking.
It was stated that for the 30 persons that died yesterday in Plateau, he said that most of the men had gone out to, you know, secure the outside villages, and of course these perpetrators came in at night and then saw the women and children. They ran into the house of the community leader, and at the end of the day they were still killed. Now, like I said, these killings have been manifesting in different places and time, and of course yesterday too we heard about I think a husband and wife who were killed and were put in a booth in Anambra State at around a temple. And of course, till today we've not heard, you know, who are the perpetrators, who did that, why it happened, and it just tells us that, look, the continuity of these killings is something that we have to worry about.
All right, again, Kelvin, Tinubu is off. You know, while we're talking about killings in Nigeria, different parts of the country, the president is off to a private visit in France. And of course, people are saying that look, it shouldn't be this time. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu departed Abuja to France on a private visit. Chief Jᴏɪṛ special advisor to the president on media and publicity, announced this in a statement on Wednesday. Yes, Ngelali, who did not go into details. Again, it's very important because people have been asking why we don't have it, and this person that should tell us why on what the president is doing in France just came with sketchy information. And basically what he said is that look, the president will return to the country in the first week of February. So that's like a week plus, you know. So that's all he said. 2024. This is the first trip. This is the first trip by Tinubu since he approved cutting measures that involve slashing by 60% official entourage on local and international travel. So people are also taking note of the fact that look, since the president announced the cutting of
the cost of governance
with the number of entourage. This is the first official travel. I'm sure people are also watching to see whether it's going to be a complete entourage as we used to know it. So that's on that particular issue. The president is on official visit and people are asking questions. Now, no plan to move federal capital to Lagos, the presidency, and I'm sure that's in reaction to all of the noise, all of the agitations as to the movement of departments of the CBN and FAN to Lagos. So if it's just about CBN and FAN, there are also people who are now speculating that look, they just started with CBN and FAN. In fact, what's coming up next to move the FCT from Abuja to Lagos, and so the presidency had to now react. Even if we ignore the other ones, how do you get into thinking that it's even possible to move the federal capital from Abuja to Lagos? So the presidency has said President Bola Tinubu's government has no plans to move the nation's capital to Lagos from Abuja. So there's no plan. People should stop saying that. Special advisor to the president on information and strategy, that's Mr. Bayo Onanuga, who gave the clarification yesterday, explained that the recent controversy that had been sparked by moves by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, to relocate their departments from Abuja to Lagos had misrepresented the situation. So Onanuga said the movement of FAN to Lagos had nothing to do with the federal capital, adding that conspiracy was fueled by dishonest ethnic and regional champions. Mr. Bayo has strong, he's good with words,
vocabularies and all.
So he said that this conspiracy was fueled by dishonest ethnic and regional champions. I'm sure they're replying. I would have thought that he would just stay with the issue, but by the time you use strong words for that, you now give opportunity for people to now and then react, and then the katakata continues. But that's Mr. Bayo Onanuga, the classic Bayo Onanuga. He has words, very strong words for people. So he still said that the movement of FAN, a department of the Aviation Ministry, to Lagos, where it was based before former Minister 𝗪𝗪 Saheed moved it to Abuja during the last administration, does not amount to moving FCT to Lagos. So Mr. Bayo Onanuga trying to clarify that indeed there's no plan to move the federal capital territory from Abuja back to Lagos. It was formerly in Lagos until the government of President Head of State Ibrahim Babangida moved it to Abuja. But again, like I said, we have this this issue. Instead of addressing critical issues, we start to talk about politics, we start to talk about ethnicity, and that's the problem. But again, it's a developing story because the North is now saying that look, the northern senators led by Ali Ndume are saying there's going to be political consequences for that. Well, it's still open forum, mainland 98.3 FM. Like I said, we're streaming the show live on Facebook, and you can drop your comments and contributions on our Facebook platform. Also, the phone lines are open. Officially, the phone lines are open for you to be a part of the show. Maybe I should just quickly run through some of the issues dominating the media space at this time. Over 30 killed in Plateau State despite curfew. Tinubu off to France on private visit. 10 Ibadan explosion victims still missing. Unfortunately, 10 missing. That's to tell you that look, we may be dealing with increased casualty figures, and then the Chinese national human interest story here. Chinese national please for mercy over girlfriend's killing in Kano, and then 4 billion theft. EFCC lines of 15 witnesses again. Willie Obiano, the former governor of Anambra State. And then, of course, we have relief coming with more forex and reduced inflation. Mr. Yemi Cardoso, it's not a man I envy at this time at all. Because the records are not looking good at all.
I'm not sure he sleeps 8 hours per day.
Even that he's going to be sleeping at all. That's if he's serious about his job. But again, because again, from what I see of him, the looks on his face, this is a man I think wants to get the job done. But it's different to have the desire to want to do something. But can you do it? Do you have the capacity? Is the outlook completely clear as to what you really want to do? That's the question again on Mr. Yemi Cardoso. The phone number is 09136 0000410 09136 0000410. Open Forum, mainland 98.3 FM. Like I said, it's an open opportunity for you to speak to any of the issues you consider very, very important to you at this time. So the phone line is open. You can call in and let's have a conversation. And then Oᴘᴇᴜ has also jumped into the issue of this Ndume matter. And what he's saying is that, look, don't politicize this issue. Don't make it an issue of politics. Let's just be serious here. It's about operational efficiency, and we should just take it at that. All right, we'll take the first call for the afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Please turn down the volume of your. Can you please turn down the volume of your radio set? Oh, that's a very. Please, when you call in, please just turn down the volume of your radio set completely. I know people have the tendency of wanting to talk on radio and then hear themselves too, but it interrupts, and then there's always this feedback. So please, just anytime you call in, please turn down the volume of your radio set. 09136 0000410 09136 0000410. That's the phone number to call. Like I said, the show is still streaming live on Facebook, and you have the opportunity of joining us on Facebook to drop your comments and contributions. We have Albert Oyinlola on Facebook, who is saying 𝗪𝗏 is speaking in Yoruba. Thank you so much, Albert Oyinlola, for that particular message. So, like I said, Kelvin, 09136 0000410. That's the phone number to call, and you can be a part of the show by calling that phone number. Oᴘᴇᴜ is going to, more people are going to talk. We've seen more reactions, and Bayo Ononuga has said his own, Doyin Okupe has now said his own, and just hoping it's not going to be a back and forth between the south and the north. Yes. And like we pointed out, if you look at Mr. Senator Ndume's comment, he was just very particular about the Lagos boys. I would have loved to ask him, what are the Lagos boys? Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. All right. Good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. All right. I think we lost that call. We'll try and fix the issue with the phone lines. Please just try and make it back. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Bashir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, your name is what?
My name is Bashir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, Bashir. Where are you calling from, Bashir?
Yeah, I'm calling from Agodo. I'm back in Lagos.
Okay, from Agodo. All right, please go on, sir.
Yeah, the insecurity in Plateau, in another state.
Yes.
The thing is getting worse day by day. You cannot live with your own 2 eyes. You cannot go to your farms. People are not going to school, and I don't even understand what is going on. The last year when I go to my farm.
You are from which state? Bashir, you are from which state?
Yeah, from Taraba State, sir.
Okay, from where in Taraba State?
From Karilanido.
That's Mambila Plateau area, right?
Yeah, I found almost 2 bags of rice, and this is how Fulani get inside the farm. I don't even see anything from today. So I don't know, the insecurity is too much, but we are praying to God.
Okay.
God will bless our country and we make us be safe every time.
All right. Thank you so much, Bashir from calling from Agodo. He's from Taraba State. That's also a state in the country where you have a lot of troubles, really. Either farmer clashes, ethnic clashes. I'm quite familiar with Taraba State because I served in that state. So I know that, and most of these clashes comes with serious destruction of lives and properties. You have people raising down communities, killing people. And again, like he has said, he went to his farm and everything had been destroyed. So we ask ourselves, where would the food come from? Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, sir.
My name is Adeoye from Oba.
All right, sir.
Thank you. However, today's phone mic. Now, what I want to discuss.
Yes.
Last time, I tried to give a background that someone like me.
Yes.
I'm in my mid-60s.
Mid-60s, okay, sir.
My daddy and my mom were born in Côte
Okay.
That means they should be in the army this 21st century.
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
That means we are used to living with other people outside the country on my side. Now, the insincerity of all of us in Nigeria is the one causing this trouble. Please, why is it that it is difficult for us, and I want to come mainland FM, take the bull by the we must discuss our tribal sentiment. And for the time immediately you want to speak about Igbo, Fulani, they will say, no, don't go there. Why shouldn't we go there? By the time we are discussing every state, we negotiate who will be the governor, who will be the senator, how we are going to distribute political posts. But when it is at the larger community that we call Nigeria, we refuse to discuss it. For God's sake, why should someone on one of our radio stations yesterday be discussing federal government installation in Kaduna, and when he returned the second day, he can't continue again as he promised. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, Itumi or anybody cannot threaten anybody. It is high time we start to discuss the factually what connects us together. And that will give us some freedom.
Okay. All right.
There is no way we continue like this. Why do you want to discuss that there is a oil in Niger Delta? They need more away from the north. We know we are not economically the best. We want to disadvantages. And we have enough discussion. Where is the panel report of Obasanjo? Where is that of Jonathan? They produce it and they can't utilize it because they are afraid. Who might be afraid of? I said, please, let us bring the discussion to the table so that Nigeria will be better. That is the only reason why we are killing in the plateau, in Kaduna, everywhere. We are not resting. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Adeoye. I think I completely get your point as to discussing, the things that separate us, issue of ethnicity. But again, there are rules. There are rules, guiding what we do on radio. These are very sensitive issues, really. And sometimes, the way you discussed it now, I've seen that there was a lot of caution. There was a lot of tact in the way you presented this particular issue. But, you open up the opportunity for people to talk about it, and then, of course,
turns into something else.
And, for example, if you follow what happened in Rwanda, the genocide in Rwanda and some other countries, it started with the media. The media was held responsible for a lot of the things that happened. People were in the media pushing people, inciting people against one another, and that's why there are rules guiding what we do. Yes, I agree that we can discuss our ethnicity, we can discuss our differences, but again, we have to do it in a way where we don't further divide the nation, or pitch ourselves against one another. So very, very important. But thank you so much, Mr. Ďᴏɪ, all the way from Ogba. 09136 0000410, 09136 0000410. We have this message on Facebook from Oᴘᴇᴜ Mayor, who is saying the just case is governor's issue. He knows them. They should hold the governor responsible for what happened. I don't know. Let's take this call. I'm going to get to. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Fuhad.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is Michael.
Michael, where are you calling from, Michael?
Sir, I'm at Jᴏɪṛ State like this.
Okay, please go on, sir.
Sir, I usually appreciate you for your analysis.
Thank you.
I like you for all what you have been saying.
Thank you.
But on today's topic, I disagree with you, sir.
Which one of the issues?
The one of the Southeast, the one you accuse, like you are accusing the IPOB people, the IPOB, like
wait now.
Say that they are not causing the problem in the Southeast. Like the one that happened yesterday in Anambra State.
Calm down.
How do you know that they are the IPOB people that are causing the problem?
Wait.
Okay, like as I am now, I am one of the.
Oh, okay. I think we. Please, Michael, please. That I think is his network. I really want you to call back so that we can have a conversation. Really, I'll allow you talk and then I respond. Yeah. I think
he misconstrued what you said.
And it's good that we clarify that. And what I've said is that look, whether we like it or not, there are issues in the Southeast, and whether it is ESN, IPOB, unknown gunmen, as we want to put it, the reality is that there are serious troubles in the Southeast. We had. I think one of our shows over the weekend where some people had gone to Imo State, they mentioned a particular local government and they were attacked by people who are claiming that look, they don't want to see anything Nigeria here, they don't want to see anything Ilox. So we can't continue to deceive ourselves. The reality is that there are issues that we must address when it comes to insecurity in the South. But I'd love to hear his own reason for what he thinks the summer in the Southeast is coming. So
hopefully he calls again.
I just want you to call Michael, so that we can have that conversation. 09136 0000410. So before the call came, we were talking about this particular message.
Yes.
Oᴘᴇᴜ Mayor, who is saying the just case is the governor's issue. He just put everything on the governor, Mr. 𝗪𝗏. Well, this is a man that has just settled into governance because he's been battling litigation. He was a man that his seat was threatened completely, by the appeal court judgment that removed him before the Supreme Court has now, affirmed his victory at the poll. So I think it's just settling to governance, really, because there's no way you have your election nullified at the appeal court and you have your head thinking straight. But let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
My name is good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please, my name is D1, calling from Festac.
Okay, go on, sir.
Please, I'm very sorry. I'm your fan already. Okay.
Thank you.
But I decided to call now. I have an issue and I want people to assist us.
What's
The NIN, I don't know the program you guys are doing now, but I just have to off my radio so
it's open forum, so you can discuss any issue.
Thank you very much. I followed I took forward in the morning, but I couldn't make it. Please, this NIN issue is giving me sleepless night because my son actually want to take WAEC.
Okay.
And they insisted on getting the NIN. I have been to the local government, almost all the local government I know in this, just to 𝗪𝗏. No response. Even when they ask me that I will pay, some charging me 10, some charging me 5. I'm ready to pay. Yet they are telling me they cannot do it. They cannot capture, no network, no server. Yet they are making it compulsory for the people that are going to take WAEC. My son cannot concentrate right now. He's always on my neck. Daddy, my NIN, my clearance. Please, is there any way people can tell government to take this into school? When I was growing up, most of all these important things, then bring it to my school so that it will be easier for the children. Please, if you can help me, please. I will remain very, very happy with this station. Please help me, please.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Thank you. Please make it loud to the government.
Okay.
People are suffering.
We are listening to you, but we'll talk about it now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless you, sir. I think this NIN thing has become a racket of some sort. I must say it, because even at the LCDC office here in 𝗪𝗏ᴗ, Alausa, you get in there. They have so many systems in their so-called NIN room. You just go and none of them is working. There's always no internet. The server is always down. And just at the back of their office, some 2 streets away, you have people doing the same thing. Let's take this call and I'll still address this particular. I'm noted. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, Mr. Fuhad.
Good afternoon. Yes.
𝗪𝗏 Michael call back.
Okay, yes, Michael, please go on.
Yeah, I was saying that it should stop accusing the innocent people.
Okay,
like the one that took place yesterday at Anambra State.
yes.
How do you know that the IPOP group that's causing the problem? Okay, like the one that is happening in the north, in the Plateau there.
Plateau State, yes.
Is it IPOP that is causing the problem?
It can't be IPOP.
Okay.
Nobody has said that one is IPOP.
I'm coming. Like as I am now, I'm one of the IPOP. I'm one of the supporters of the IPOP.
Wait.
Am I a criminal?
Calm down.
I'm here in Lagos doing my business.
Wait now, Michael. I'm sure you know the government has declared, that organization.
Please don't make that statement anymore. We are not criminals. We are not criminals. If they want to come to me, they are free to come to me.
Okay, so what's
They come to me, I mean.
So you saying that you are not the guys responsible for the trouble in the southeast? Is that what you're saying?
We are not, sir.
So
the blame is going to the politicians. We should blame all politicians.
Okay.
We should blame the politicians for all the things that is going on in the country. Okay, as a president, as Mr. President,
yes.
What can he take action for all the chaos that is going on in the country?
Okay.
For we to know the real people that is involved in this problem.
All right.
Anything that we're going to insult us, we're going to accuse us unnecessarily.
All right. The man is annoyed, but I just think he needs to understand that, look, whether you like it or not, the facts are the facts. You are entitled to your own opinion. That's the beauty of the show. But you are not entitled to your own set of facts. The fact is the fact, and what is the fact, you can't even argue it. But I understand where you're coming from. I understand your agitation. I understand a lot of the things that people say when it comes to insecurity in the southeast. Even leaders of the southeast have said that, look, one of the easiest ways to bring peace back to the southeast is to look at a political solution to the Nnamdi Kanu issue. Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the IPOB, and if your leaders are saying that, look, one of the ways to bring peace, lasting peace back to the southeast is to release him, and then of course find a way of a political solution to the issue. Understand that, look, we can continue to say this thing, but the reality is that, look, it's almost impossible for you to remove the IPOB conversation from insecurity in the south. But I appreciate your call, Michael from Ajawese. Now to Mr. D1. The phone line is still open, 09136 0000410, 09136 0000410. My name is Saheed Fuhad. I have Kelvin Iwafili here. Like I've said, it's open forum. I'm sure a lot of you are just getting used to the fact that we now have a show where you can call in, bear your thoughts on any of the issue you consider important to you, be it the economy, be it politics, insecurity in the country, anything at all. Let's have a conversation. Now to Mr. D1 who called in from First Stack on the issue of the NIN. I think it's become a very serious problem. I think even the simple thing of automatic application of passport now has also become a problem. And I think we need to talk about the fact that NIN should be seamless, yes. Because you now say all pupils, for example, if they are going to write even common entrance, they must do NIN. Why they must do NIN? And it shouldn't be stressful. It should just be seamless. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, I don't know. We'll try and see to that. Please do well to call back, because again, if you say you must do all of this, if you want to write WAEC, even my small children, now if you're going to write common entrance, I think it's also mandatory that you must have your NIN. But I remember when I brought my children to do the same NIN in Ikeja here, they had to go and use the outside one because inside there was no server. It was never working. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
My name is Mubarak, calling from Jai.
Mubarak from Ijai.
Yeah.
I assume you are a northerner or not?
Huh?
Are you a northerner?
No, I'm from Kogi State.
Okay, well, at least you are from the north, even if it's not central. Yes, go on, sir.
Okay, yeah, the issue that I wanted to talk about is about the Plateau.
The Plateau killing.
Yes. Yeah, where they kill 80 people during the time of coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, my own thinking that how can government declare a coffee and they still during that process they still keep it? Are they no insecurity?
I'm with you. I'm listening to you.
Yeah, my own is that the day when they declare coffee in our state, security was everywhere. No one moved out. But I don't know how it happened. This one. People still come, people almost have been 20 or I don't know. It's supposed to be a security day and night during that process, during that coffee time. But I don't know how the governor do it. But that is what I want to say.
Okay, all right. Mubarak is asking the same question we are asking as to this killing in Plateau State. You declare curfew and people are still able to move around to kill people. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Engineer Paul from Abuja.
Engineer Paul from Abuja. Please go on, sir.
Yes, Engineer Paul from Abuja.
All right, sir.
Actually, I want to say this.
Yes.
When the incident about, I want to talk about Plateau killing.
Yes.
When the incident happened on last Christmas Day.
Christmas Eve, yes.
On Christmas Day last year. When the killing started, the local governors were quick to respond by donating 100 million to the Plateau State government. Now, they don't even think of how to find solution to the wasting of innocent souls. They don't even think on how to put an end to the case. I pity for the local people because the sort of people wasted on daily basis. Before they can be able to regain their stand again in the nearest future, the calamity will be too great. Then on the other hand, this present president still remain adamant to do something about it. After the 𝗪𝗏 𝗪𝗏 spreads to this side.
Okay. Well, I think I got to again. You say, these are Nigerians. So, well, yes, it's in the north most of the issues, but the funny thing is that you'll just be surprised that there are people of other ethnic groups living in these communities. So when you hear 20 persons have been killed, you don't be surprised that you might find a Yoruba person there. You might even find some people, an Igbo person living there. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
You're calling back.
Sorry?
On the man with NI.
Yes, the NI, Mr. D1, right?
Yes, I'm sometimes to you, that is my constituency.
Okay, Mr. D1, yes.
The NIN people, they have done the needful.
Okay.
Initially you have to go to only local government before you can register.
Yes.
Now the thing has been decentralized and commercialized.
Okay.
It looks as if it is deliberate, but it is not.
Okay.
Various places that you go to, it is their own network that is having problem. But it is when we are in need of these things that we rush down there. That is the problem we are having. The man that is son want to write to
𝗪𝗏, yes,
or jam or whatever is very, very unfortunate. But I will advise him, if he is so much pressed, he should go to anywhere where we have educational center.
Okay.
It seems most of them around that place, their network is always better, or because they want to make more money.
So
if you get to somewhere around what is this place now? Around Oba, excellence, where you have the WAEC, or you move to somewhere around Yaba, near the WAEC office. All those places, that your NIN can easily be done as fast as possible.
Okay.
That's the advice I will give to him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Diadu. I think I'm sure he's still listening as Mr. D1 from 𝗪𝗏. And I think the other advice I would have given to him is to, if he's pressed, like Mr. Diadu said, you could go to the office, the NIN office in Alausa, and that's the head office. But again, my experience with that place is that their server is also always down, or their network. But I'm sure
you can still do it at the back.
But again, this issue of network when it comes to things like
it has to be consistent. I mean, being at your house, it has to be consistent.
Yeah, I always say it's only when it's government thing that you hear that the network is bad, the server is down. On a daily basis, banks issue new ATM cards for people.
Activities are
they do
ongoing.
transactions, but when it becomes consistent, people now begin to question and raise questions as to why it has to be that tedious. Now that you are even compelling all students and pupils to be on the air before they can write any of the exams, but again, I think that's one useful information that Mr. D1 from Festa can work with, and I'm sure that the authorities are also listening to us and will do something about making the entire process seamless. It's still open forum, mainland 98.3 FM. My name is 𝗪𝗏 Fuhad. I have Kelvin Nwafili here, and together we're taking your calls and contributions as to any issue that you consider very, very important to you that you want to talk about. 091-36000410, 091-36000410. We're addressing the message on Facebook. Just case is the governor's issue. This message just blames the governor for everything, and I think that, look, yes, there are people who also think the governor has some roles and responsibilities to play in all of this. He needs to also step up. People have said that he collects security vote. He should deploy that money into fixing some of these problems. But the bigger problem is that, look, yes, he's the executive governor of the state, the chief security officer of the state, but the security arrangement of the state does not entirely belong to him, because again, he cannot issue orders. He cannot give orders to the police, for example. He has to. Maybe I think the best he can do is to arrange maybe local security, but there are also limitations to that, whether we like it or not. I remember when the Owo killing happened, Kelvin, God bless the soul of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu, he said the issue of balance of power was the problem, because the Amotekun exists in Ondo State, but they have limitations to the kind of weapons they can carry. Whereas what he's saying is that, look, these killers come with sophisticated weapons, assault rifles, and what have you. And so it's difficult for you to go and fight somebody with assault rifle or the AK with Dane gun or Shakabula. So I'm sure, because there are rules to these things, I'm sure if Mr. Mufwan comes up with any arrangement of that nature, these guys will still be limited to carrying not too sophisticated weapons, and there won't be that balance of power. So what we're saying is that, look, because again, you've seen governors who are now saying that, look, it's time for people to defend themselves. If the government cannot defend them, I remember there was a time Matawale, when he was the governor of Zamfara State, he said something like that. 𝗪𝗏 has also said something similar in the past. We've seen different governors also say the same thing. In fact, Governor Rotimi Akeredolu also at the killing, after the Owo killing, also muted the idea of, I think it's time for people to defend themselves. But again, the argument against that is that we're only calling for anarchy if we decide to go that line, where people are now allowed to carry weapons, defend themselves, and so it's a contentious issue. It's a very sensitive issue. But when it comes to insecurity in the country, Kelvin, I think the government has to do something.
Now, speaking of this insecurity, now during the time of Jonah Jang in Plateau State, we've been experiencing these killings of head
it's not new, really,
especially in the north. One would think that the fact that we have our military arms stationed there in the headquarters and all, one would naturally think that deployment of soldiers, armies to these places are supposed to be swift and, of course, effective. But the present look of the situation shows us that it seems as though the military personnel are not enough. It seems as though the military personnel are not doing what needs to be done, because after a 24-hour curfew, we still have 30 persons who died. So, Fuhad, what would be your opinion on this regarding the fact that we have armed forces stationed in the north, and yet we've been hearing about this banditry killing, ethnic violence during the time of Jonah Jang, specifically, yes, in the northern part of the area.
Well, the thing is this, because again, I've always questioned the strategy of curfew, because if you say curfew, do you have enough security personnel to ensure that people obey that curfew? The curfew basically is just a declaration. it eventually will make sense if you can now ensure that people respect that curfew. But when you declare curfew and then killers are able to move around, people are locked up in their homes, they break down their doors, break down their windows and kill them, then people now begin to question the essence of the curfew. So I just think that sometimes, when governors get completely disoriented, overwhelmed, they just want to do something.
We are verbal in action.
So
we have more actions.
So I'm not surprised that again, people are saying that, look, why did you declare curfew when you don't have what it takes to ensure people respect it, and then you have killers who will now go around killing people, ransacking villages, and then of course maiming and burning down properties and all of that. So like I said, the videos are very gory. It's nothing you really want to see. It's disturbing, but it is what it is. 09136000410 0913600 Open Forum, mainland 98.3 FM. Another interesting issue, Kelvin, which I think we need to talk about, and we can tie that to the issue of the economy. Mr. Yemi Cardoso said a whole lot of things, yesterday about the fact that, look, there are better days ahead. They understand that, it's all a very tough one at this time. Things are not looking good. Nigerians are complaining, and they don't have to complain because, again, if you're doing 1,400 to $1,
and you're not complaining, then
there's something is wrong somewhere. And whether we like it or not,
I mean, during the times of Jonathan, Yaradua, and it was 200 naira and a bit more. But one would wonder and ask questions of what were the previous president, what did they do that this present president cannot do, to be able to reduce this naira to dollar that is increasing in an unexpected rate.
Well, Kelvin, the same question I think answers that the supporters of this government are giving to that is that, look, during the PDP era, basically what they were doing was to continue to defend the naira. It was an artificial thing, and that because of that, resources that should have been deployed. I'm speaking what I'm saying, what people are saying again to your question as to how was the PDP able to do it to keep the dollar at that level,
sustain the pressure. Yes,
and what they said basically is that, look, at that time it was just artificial defense of the naira. They kept defending it, and because of that, public infrastructure suffered. Money that was supposed to be deployed to do roads, maybe build the refineries,
social infrastructure activities,
because they were using the money to continue to defend the naira, so that it doesn't get to that point, and that, look, it's not sustainable, it doesn't make sense. It is better we go this route and then find a way to come back to stability. That's even what Mr. Cardoso said all through yesterday, and we can just take a part of that report. Again, the phone line is still open, 091-36000410. You can be a part of the conversation. You can talk about insecurity, you can talk about the economy, you can anything at all that you think. Just imagine the beauty of the show. Somebody talked about NIN and how it is a big trouble for people to get their NIN done. So but the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, the NESG, along with the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, and economic experts yesterday indicated that the Nigerian economy will achieve some stability, leading to a reduction in the inflation rate, unemployment, and poverty. So it's not just the CBN talking now. These are all economic institutions, strong economic institutions. You have the CBN, the Nigeria Economic Summit Group, and then you have the World Bank, and then the IMF, all saying that, look, there are indications that the Nigerian economy will achieve. Okay, let's just take. Okay, I think we lost that call. 09136000410. You can always call in to be a part of the conversation. But what these institutions are saying is that, look, Nigerian economy will achieve some stability, leading to a reduction in the rate of inflation, unemployment, and poverty. So let's see what they're saying. What's the reason why they think that, look, there's light at the end of the tunnel? And what they're saying is that, look, the CBN governor, now this is Mr. Cardoso, Yemi Cardoso, speaking at the launch of the NESG 2024 macroeconomic outlook, hinted that Nigeria will heave a sigh of relief from the sustained rise in price of goods and services when the implementation of its inflation targeting policy, measures to improve liquidity in the forex market, as well as expected reduction in pump price of petroleum products begin to yield impacts. You know, all promises. People have even said that he has said that again. They are looking at all the refineries working, which would drastically reduce the tendency to use as scarce forex to import PMS, and that at that time we can now begin to save money. We can begin to, you know, so. But these things are not going to happen very fast.
I mean, from the way it's sounding, it's not. We're not looking at it 2 months.
No.
It's going to take some time, and we're still going to experience some sort of a bit of hardship if we have to be realistic.
It's not a bit of serious hardship.
Yes,
at the way the naira and the dollar is going,
I mean,
it's really troubling. But like I said, there's this interesting story that is also important. We look at. Let's just take that story so that we know what the story is about. Again, it's on the sale of crude oil to Dangote refinery. For people who have been following the issue, there's this talk about the fact that, look, if you have local refinery, if you have refineries in Nigeria and the crude is in Nigeria, so why should you sell the crude to a refinery in Nigeria in dollars? You know, why you don't have to dollarize it. You can just pay in naira, currency, and then, you know, so that since the crude is here. But you know, so that's the argument, and that argument is also the reason why it was also reported recently that licensed owners of modular refineries are saying the reason why they can't activate their license is that there's no guarantee that crude oil will be sold to them in naira, because if you dollarize it, it becomes a problem. They can't even get the dollars to buy the crude. So I think it's on that premise that the Arewa Youth Ambassadors, I think it's a group, AYA, a coalition of youth groups in the 19 northern states, has weighed in on supply of crude oil to Dangote refinery, Dangote petroleum refinery. So I think I'll have to take that again. Okay, yes, you know, at a press briefing on Wednesday in Abuja, the group secretary Mukhtar Abdurrahman Awal urged President Bola Tinubu's administration not to sell crude oil to DPR in dollars, but that's Dangote refinery, but in naira. He says selling crude oil to Dangote petroleum refinery in foreign currency is going to be counterproductive as far as the Nigerian masses are concerned. The vulnerability of the naira due to foreign exchange has caused an untold hardship to the majority of Nigerians. That's one issue that there are really no you know, we don't have a clarity to it yet. You know, how is Dangote getting his crude oil? Is it getting it in naira? Is he getting it in dollars? What's going on? What's the issue? But the argument has always been that, look, since we own the crude, as a way of creating some stability in terms of pricing, or probably even a reduction in price, it should be sold to him in naira. I think you can't completely fault that particular argument. So, but well, it's one conversation that we'll continue to have. We are still waiting for Dangote refinery to give out his product. No, not even respond. Until when we now know that, okay, people have the Dangote refinery product, we now ask at how much, because there's really nothing on pricing for now. The only thing we are getting is that, look, it's going to supply to Ipman, to major marketers. It's going to supply to the local market. At what price is a big question, because that's what Nigerians are concerned about. A lot of Nigerians are even hoping that the prices could drop. But again, I think the outlook is not dropping the price immediately, but at least ensuring stability in the market. So we'll leave that issue at that, and then we'll look at what happens as we go on. I think there's also this meeting by the federal government with Lumelu and Dangote on infrastructure, building of roads. We're getting information that the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, has met with Dangote, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, and Mr. Tony Lumelu about PPP for our roads. I remembered when Dave Umahi was sworn in as minister, you know, and one of the things he said was that we need about 10 trillion naira, you know, to pay contractors to fix majority of our federal roads. I doubt if that money is available. So we're also getting the report that, look, they are looking at a kind of PPP arrangement, so that these guys with big companies, big monies, can look at fixing some of our roads in a PPP kind of arrangement. I don't know whether that will be with tax waivers coming into it, or we're going to see a situation where, you know, you build roads and then you maybe get your money through toll gates and all of that. But something has to be done.
We have symbiotic relationship for gains.
You know, but I think we'll do a little bit of politics now. Again, we'll look at the issue of the relocation of
the CBN departments and
departments. I like to look at what Mr. Ďᴏɪᴜ Fuhad is saying to Senator Ndume, because again, that's also one issue dominating the media space at this time. Mr. Ďᴏɪᴜ Fuhad is also somebody with very strong words. If you listen to him, and he doesn't miss words when he wants to talk, and so he has given a reply to Senator Ali Ndume. Let's first take what Mr. Okupe has said. It's reported in the Nation newspaper today, and then we'll listen to what Mr. Ndume said and then have this conversation. Again, it's still open forum mainland 98.3 FM. The phone line is open 09136 0000410. My name is Saheed Fuhad. We have Kelvin Nwafili here, and together we've just been having these conversations. And of course, it's interactive, so you can call into, talk to any of the issues, speak to any of the issue that you think is important to you. So let's look at what Mr. Ďᴏɪᴜ Fuhad has said to Ali Ndume. Ďᴏɪᴜ Fuhad, former aide to ex-president Goodluck Jonathan, has knocked the senator representing Borno South Senatorial District, Ali Ndume, for faulting the relocation of certain departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria from Abuja to Lagos. Ndume, in a Channels Television interview on Tuesday, said that the president is being ill-advised by Lagos. We'll listen to him. Ndume said, okay, he said a whole lot of things, but in an open letter to Ndume, titled Movement of some parastatals to Lagos by the federal government on Wednesday, Okupe described Ndume's position as being provocative and unexpected of a politician of his pedigree and position in Nigerian politics. He wrote, "Your recent pronouncement on the above subject matter is provocative and unexpected of politician of your pedigree and position in the Nigerian polity. You have been in politics for more than 2 decades. You are one of the highest ranking senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You once contested and deservedly the revered and exalted position of the Senate president. And there was a time you wanted to become the Senate president. Yes. Even if you disagreed and you are aware of the consensus of many northern politicians being against this move, it is reasonable to expect that you will treat this situation with much maturity." He feels that the way he addressed the issue, we're going to again listen to see what he said, and see whether what Mr. Okupe is saying is actually on point. Your threat against President Tinubu of political consequences because of this action of federal government is unwarranted and demeaning of your status. So he's actually addressing the issue of political consequences that Ali Ndume mentioned earlier. Ours is a fragile democracy, and from the First Republic to date, leaders of this nation have managed our national stability and unity with great circumspection. Our polity has not always been based on political correctness, but rather on political expediency and prevailing powers that be. For instance, why should major military installations and institutions be domiciled in the north, or the Nigerian Ports Authority and the Nigerian Customs be located in Abuja? These being institutions that must be of necessity close to where the harbor is. But my dear Senator, this is how we are as a people. If I decide to go into the details again, we're now seeing that, look, a simple matter of governance, a simple policy issue has now become an issue that we're using to divide ourselves, talking about ethnicity, talking about north and south, and then the substance, the main issue, is lost completely in this conversation. Nobody's talking about, what would happen to the CBN if we move this department? Would that affect operational performance? Would that also affect the cost of running activities in the CBN? What are we supposed to gain from it? Nobody's probing into that. Have you noticed?
Yes, no one is talking about the strategy behind it.
The reasons why this is to be. It's now more of politics, more of ethnicity, it's zoning and all. So the issue is lost completely. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fuhad.
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm the God bless you. This is Mr.
Sorry?
This is Mr. Ossas.
Ossas, okay. Where are you calling from, Mr. Ossas?
I'm calling from Magboro.
Okay, from Magboro. Please go on, sir.
Precise to the point. I called yesterday with some certain political statements by some northern elders.
Yes.
𝗪𝐶
Yes.
Yeah. So one thing I did not bring out yesterday, I want to remind this on paper is everywhere. This Alain Dume and cohort, the northern and whatever you call the Arewa, whatever. To show that they are the problem this Nigeria has. If you recall, when Nigeria, I'm a man, I don't know. When Nigeria was decimating the Boko Haram, this past president with the assassinating People's Congress Party.
I really want you to talk, Mr. Osas, but this is radio. Let's watch our choice of words, our language, so that we don't. Let's have a very beautiful conversation, constructive one. And so calling something assassination People's Party, no. I really want you to talk, so let's just mind our words, please.
So, yes. So let me bring out the point. Yes. I really didn't want to talk more than this.
Okay.
Mr. President Buhari made a speech. It's there with verifiable that Nigeria has decimating the Boko Haram is attack on the Northerners. You will agree with me. It's there. It was verifiable. So can you see that the Northern brothers, let me put it that way, are the problem we have in this country? That was why 𝗪𝗏 said 7 district given Nigeria, they are no more part of Nigeria. So I think it is time we use our tongue and count our feet.
All right, thank you.
Look at what this. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. I'll react to what you are saying. Some issues there that needs reaction. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
My name is Joshua. I'm calling you from Matog.
Joshua, you have to raise your voice a bit. So I'm struggling to hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, from Matog. Please go on.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Please go on.
Okay. So, the problem we have in Nigeria is that we are not young.
We are not what?
We are not young.
We are not one. Okay, yes.
It's not really that tribe, America or Yoruba and Igbo. Because we don't speak on one voice. If we try to speak on one voice, I think our problem will be solved. Like in other countries, if you talk of America, do you know that America, they just celebrated they just did Thanksgiving in thanking God about that.
I'm with you completely.
We just thank God for keeping them together. But in Nigeria here now, we will even appreciate who we are in the sight of God. So that's why we are killing ourselves. You see somebody who wake up and just go to the street and slaughter people because we are not one. That is just it. So until we realize who we are as a man we call ourselves, that is when our problem will be solved.
All right. Thank you. I like that, until we see ourselves as one and decide to work together, we'll continue to have these problems. And people have said that, look, our differences, our diversity is supposed to be our strength. Just imagine when the Super Eagles is playing, the kind of unison you get, the unity you get, the way everybody comes together.
That's a practical example.
Just imagine we put the same kind of energy and support to developing the country, tackling issues. At that time everybody is a Nigerian.
Yes, that
everybody raises the Nigerian flag. Nobody's asking whether if anybody scores, nobody asks whether Osimhen is from the east. Or it's just all Nigeria. But when it comes to, I also think our politicians are the reason why we are divided. They bring up this narrative. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, your name, sir? Nnamdi. From Ikeja, okay. Please go on, sir. I can hear you.
Alright. You can see the phenomenal way Nigeria is being brought out. The senator is dividing the nation. Just look at this particular scenario right now. We have the Nigerian Army University. Where is it situated?
Enough.
We have the Nigerian Navy University. Where is it situated? The Pollack, the university, where is it situated? Everything government, the benefits situated in the north. Who is complaining? Who is asking questions? And then we are one. We are one when we are not talking, when we are not making noise, when we are not asking questions. With only one little thing President Ashodi wanted us to do. For the benefit of the nation, look at what the senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is saying.
The ranking senator for that matter.
The same party, who is following who? That is to give you the mindset of the people that are ruling us. Brother, if you are not my friend, you are not my friend. So no matter how with someone that hates you, brother, he will continue to hate you. So forget about whether we are one, we are not one. You cannot force love. You can't force it on anybody. So, God bless you, sir. Have a lovely day.
God bless you, Mr. Nnamdi. Now, this is it, Kelvin, and I'm going to be very clear about what I want to say. You know, and I've said it on several shows, a lot of our shows, that look, our politicians are deliberate about these things. They know what they are doing, really, because, you know, when it comes to sharing our common wealth, you know, when they were going to receive the SUVs, for example, Nigerians were all unanimous that look, this was unnecessary, this was a wasteful spending on the part of government. Did any of the senators at that time say it's from the north or the south or the southeast? Everybody was all done, everybody was happy, it was all quiet. When people questioned, you know, raising the budget of the National Assembly from our 200-something billion to about 320-something billion, everybody kept quiet. You know, when they were getting emails in their, when they were getting alerts in their emails and prayers in their emails and all of that, you know. So the reality is that when it's about sharing public resources, public monies, politicians don't discuss ethnicity, they don't discuss religion. But when it comes to, you know, whipping the sentiments of the people to distract them from the real issues, they bring up all of these issues. I understand where the two callers are coming from.
Yes.
The idea of, oh, we are not, we look, yes, we are diverse. How many languages do we have in the country? How many ethnic groups do we have? But people have said that, look, that is supposed to be our strength. The diversity is supposed to be bring opportunities, but nobody is committed to building the nation. That's the problem. Like someone said, we only have people in government. We don't have a government. Because you have a government when you have people who are committed to nation building, who are committed to Nigeria. We keep talking about America. It's because the people, they are committed to their nation. They are American first before they begin to ask whether you are an African American.
As far as you're an American, it covers.
It covers. And until we get to that point where we can build the spirit of nationhood in ourselves, to first see ourselves first as Nigerians before I begin to say I'm a Yoruba man or you're an Igbo man, and that is a problem. But why are this divided? Is still because our politicians see it as a tool to manipulate us, you know, to control the narrative and shape our perception about a lot of issues.
Absolutely.
Because look at it, we are moving the department of the CBN, departments about 5 or so, to Lagos for operational efficiency.
I mean, what if it was the CBN, the entire CBN? What would have happened? Of course, we'll be discussing about chaos, fightings and chaos. I mean, just departments.
Just departments. And he said that, look, this department are key department for operational efficiency. Look, Kelvin,
these are reasons.
A lot of the commercial banks have their corporate head offices in Lagos here. They operate from Lagos. So for smooth, and people have said that, look, because people have to move sometimes every day from Abuja to Lagos to get their job done. You have what is called out of station allowances. You know, sometimes you have to pay accommodation allowances, and the cost was becoming too much, and they needed to bring it down. Yes, you can question policies, you can question ideas, but to now wrap it around ethnic sentiment is the reason why people are calling out Ali Ndume for what he said. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. Please bring down the volume of your radio, sir. Your name, sir. Your name. Calm down.
My name is Francis. I'm calling from Tagada.
Okay. Wait, Francis. Wait first. Calm down.
Okay.
Before you talk, this is radio, and there are rules guiding what we do.
You said okay.
So talk now.
Okay. You see, I'm angry, Mr. Fawad.
Why?
My anger there is because of what Ndume, whatsoever
you said. Yes.
See, if you are not my friend, you are not my friend. They will not have an hidden agenda. No, it should be known to my faithful Tinubu that this country, they don't want peace. It's better for him, let this country be divided. Let everybody go on his own corner.
Okay. Yeah, as I want. Again, that is what it brings. Now, you see, Kelvin, I don't know if Ali Ndume can speak for the entire North. I'm sure there are Northerners in this particular government. Luckily, Ali Ndume from Borno State, and Kashim Shettima, the vice president, is also from Borno State. I don't know whether he shares the same sentiment.
I think there's a personal interest for
I don't know whether he shares the same sentiments that Ali Ndume shares on this particular matter. I'm going to talk a bit of politics now, Kelvin. Yes. You understand what I'm saying? Yes. The same Ali Ndume, whether you like it or not, has issues with the political leadership of the 10th Assembly, and on one or two occasions he has questioned, the operations, the decisions of the Senate President, 𝗪𝗏 Akpabio. And people have said that, look, whether you like it or not, he's not one of the most happy senators when it comes to the way things are done at this particular time. But you can't blame people like Francis Onamdi who are now saying, oh, it's about who is your friend, who's not your friend. The reality is that these politicians are happy to do this. But I'm sure Ali Ndume has a lot of Southerners as friends who they do things together.
Absolutely.
I'm sure some of them would have investments together. Yes. But they throw this at us because within these conversations of division, they thrive, they distract us from the real issues. So the average man there in Borno State, who is supposed to question Ali Ndume on what he's doing as a lawmaker to better the people of Southern Borno State, would rather be concentrating on the fact that they are moving the CBN is going to affect us. Whereas he's supposed to look. Kelvin, have you seen when senators, House of Reps members have to meet with their constituents in the United States? Town hall, they call it town hall meetings. And you see grilling by their constituents, asking them critical questions of governance. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying, but how many of our senators members get any grilling when they go back home? They go there to share rice and beans. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, Mr. 𝗪𝗏 from Sulere.
Mr. Sorry?
𝗪𝗏 from Sulere.
Yes. Okay, please go on, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, concerning this fan they want to bring to Lagos. Lagos is congested already now.
Okay.
They should have taken it to another side. Then they take it to Imo State or any other side. It's not Lagos and the Abuja. We have 30 states plus Abuja in this Nigeria. Lagos is the hold up in Lagos is too much. Lagos is congested already. Let them take it to another state.
But Mr. 𝗪𝗏, what they are saying is that these decisions have been taken for operational efficiency. That look, a lot of the international flights, about 80% of international flights that comes to this country lands in Lagos. And that look, the fan was already in Lagos before 𝗪𝗏 Saheed in his own wisdom moved it to Abuja. Don't you think that I agree with you that we can begin to move things around the country? But on this issue of fan, don't you think for operational efficiency, the fact that look, a lot of the aviation work happen here in Lagos, it makes sense for fans
to do it online, and they can do everything now is digital. They can do it online.
Okay.
No matter where the team is, then they take it to States over.
Okay, all right. That's your own opinion. Okay. Thank you. That's a big issue.
I mean, I understand his angle is coming from.
People have said, again, what Ali Ndume was saying, and people have said that look, okay, let me give you an example of how we can continue to have this balance of power. For example, people have said that we can even move the Federal Capital Territory around the 6 geopolitical zones. It's possible, but people say, oh, disruption. No, we can move because of the balance of infrastructure. There are suggestions around that thing that, look, there's no reason why we can't move the FCT around. So, you know, it's in the north central now. Today, the next we can move it to the northeast, and then basically people still remain where they are, and we operate and all of. There are people who are already saying that what it will do is that, look, when it moves to a particular region at this time, it will bring some form of development to that place because everybody concentrates on it. But what of operational costs, the disruption that will come with movement and all of those kind of things. Now, people have also said, look, we can leave the FCT in Abuja the way it is, but move agencies, parastatals, and ministries that have to do with resources to where the resources are. For example, I said that why can't you move the Ministry of Petroleum, NNPC, DPR, all to the Niger Delta? Because majorly crude oil is more in that particular part of the country, so people are there. People have also said that, look, why can't we just move the Ministry of Agric to the north central part of the country, where Benue, Plateau, and all of that, where, you know, a lot of farming activities so are there. We can continue to have this, but I like that we discuss substance of an issue than the sentiments around it. It's easy, like you have said now, you know, we had a conversation. Oh, you can use internet. Why not in Imo? The Lagos has congestion. If that was what Mr. Ndume said, I'm sure people would not raise concerns about what he has said. But instead, it was more about ethnicity and political consideration, to the extent that there was now a threat to the president on this particular matter, that there will be political consequences. You know, so, you know, when you get to that part of the conversation, then it becomes a problem. 09136000410 09136000410. Open Forum Mainland 98.3 FM. Okay, we'll take a short break now. My producer is telling me that so that we have a proper context to the conversation of this Ali Ndume thing, that we should listen to what he said and then dissect it again and then have a conversation on it. It's still Open Forum Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll be right back.
Yes, it's not only about northern colleagues. You know, this is a consensus because we only have one federal capital, and that is Abuja. All these Lagos boys that are thinking that Lagos is Nigeria are just misinforming or advising the president wrongly. The regulators of the financial institutions are supposed to be or are in Abuja. Do you want them to move back to where, because you say Lagos is the commercial capital? This is one of the mistakes, and I'm sure Mr. President will reverse it because it doesn't work. You can't have two capital. Is the CBN governor going to be operating from Lagos and the headquarters of the CBN is in Lagos? Or do you now say that because majority of our oil is extracted from South-South, you take NNPC to South-South? Or is it because Nigeria's agricultural district is more in the north, you take Ministry of Agric to anywhere in the north? It doesn't work that way. And that is one of the problems that is cropping up. But I'm very sure, I'm very confident that Mr. President will look at this because he's a nationalist, not just a Lagos man. Some of these people think that, I'll repeat, some of them think that Lagos is Nigeria. Lagos is not Nigeria. Lagos is not the headquarters of Nigeria. The headquarters of Nigeria is in Abuja. It's not about North, which is operational purpose. Why was the headquarters moved from Lagos to Abuja? Is it not because of the congestion there? That doesn't work. If you have to do that, if you are talking about proximity and space, why don't you take them to Nasarawa there, or take them to Kogi, or take them to Kaduna, just nearby, so that you decongest the place? And I even don't see any issue of congestion. There is just going to be increase in cost because they will be running from Lagos to Abuja every time, spending more money. You end up spending more money, or exposing even the workers to unnecessary risk. This is a decision that is not well thought out, and I think the president will reverse it. I'm confident of that. And if that does not happen, of course, this is democracy. We'll know what to do. The reaction is, we don't try to bring the issue of tribalism into it. I'm not a Hausa man, and I'm not a Fulani man, but I'm a northerner, and I'm a Nigerian first. And we say that since the headquarters of Nigeria was removed from Lagos because of congestion and because of inefficiency to Abuja, where it's most central and more of no man's land, because the Gwaris and the Bagis are the Gondora people are the only place. We have enough space there. CBN has offices that they can rent or build from their own to increase efficiency. But moving some departments to Lagos is not the best of ideas at all. It's just that those political cartels that are in the corridors of power are trying to misinform the president. And we'll tell the president. The president will take action. He's someone that listens and corrects anything. I'm sure he will do that. Because there is no any efficiency in it. They don't think, I mean, some of them think that they know better than everybody. They don't know anything. When you don't know Nigeria, you only know Lagos. Then you start doing things as if Nigeria is Lagos. No, Lagos is in Nigeria. That's a wrong decision. We will not accept it. And besides, you know, they are not doing any favor to Mr. President because this will have political consequences. And these guys who are just sitting down there trying to hang on to Mr. President will not be there to amend the political mistakes or even to correct it, because they don't know anybody. They only know their offices, and they only know that they have brains. They think some of us that it's politics. Was it not politics that brought them into that office in the first place? If Tinubu had not won the election as the president, would the central bank governor be central bank governor?
Is still open for a mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Saheed Fuhad, and I have Kelvin Iwafili with me here in the studio. I think it's been an interesting ride. We're just again trying to look at the statement of Mr. Doyo Kupe, who had strong words, and then of course we just had to, so that we can have a prosper perspective to the issue of Mr. Aliun Dume on this issue of moving some departments of the CBN to Lagos, and also FAN. Somebody shared an article to me, although I've not really verified, saying that there have been reactions from even some experts on this particular move. And what they are saying is that, look, the president has to take a decision, and that decision has to be a very firm one. That, look, there's no going back on this. That if the president decide to budge to these threats, it will show that they are not really decided on what to do with our economy. I'm going to get to that. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, I think we lost that. You can please make it back. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon. Okay, I think okay, we'll try and check the lines. I think we have a little issue. So what they are saying is that, look, if you reverse this particular decision, it will show that the leadership of the CBN is not even decided on what they are doing. They are not even sure of what they are doing, and so they must be strong on their decision if indeed the policy would revamp a lot of things. And that this idea of bringing ethnic colorations to this decision does not even make any sense. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
My name is Agbede. I'm calling from Alagbado.
Your name again, sir?
Agbede.
Agbede. Okay, from Alagbado. Please go on, sir.
Please, I just need clear answer from Ndume. As an elite, as an educationist, as a citizen of the state of government there, when they moved Napa to Paris, where was he at that time? When they moved Napa, just let me explain. When they moved Napa to Kano, what relationship maybe has to do with Kano? Where is there any water there? Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Unfortunately, Aliun Dume is not available to respond, but these are questions that will come. And what is being said is that the president has to just You know, because again, there are, as it is, there's a problem of trust on the leadership of the CBN. And so when you begin to have policy somersaults, people will not trust you. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I'm Mr. Fuhad. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is 𝗪𝗏𴜶. I'm calling from 𝗪𝗏ᴏ.
Please go on, sir.
Yeah, if at this issue of movement of headquarter, as for FAN headquarter is not moved. It was only the former minister was very professional who said that the director only should report at Abuja without office, without facility,
without anything. Yeah,
just the director. The headquarter is aviation.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yes, aviation. You know, 60% of aviation activity is in Lagos.
It's in Lagos, yes.
The facility is in Lagos. The quarter for the directors and the GM, they are in Lagos. Their offices are in Lagos. The secretariat is in Lagos. You cannot move without moving the structure. So people should get it right. The headquarter have never been moved. It's only that the director, I think, was trying to politicize the thing, the former minister. You know, aviation is very critical, Mr. Fuhad. It's not something you politicize. So if the headquarter is not moved, I'm telling you as an insider, it's not moved anywhere. It's only that I just said the director.
You know the problem is that, like you said, I agree with you. But you know, a lot of these directors still have. Hello, are you with me, Mr. Tony?
I'm hearing you.
You know, a lot of these directors now have to be traveling from Lagos to Abuja, Abuja to Lagos. And what they are saying is that, look, it's a lot of cost. That's why it's better. Let's even move everybody. Let them stay in Lagos and do their job.
Well, when they say pick,
yes, that's what we are saying. Yes,
that's what I'm telling you. So if the director are wasting the organization money. By paying renting in Abuja, is that proper? So I don't see why people are crying foul that the headquarters should move here. The headquarters is in Lagos, and they must come back to and do their work in Lagos. Thank you.
All right, thank you again for operational. Like I said, this is purely operational reasons. But again, our politicians have now found a way to bring ethnic coloration to it. Like I was saying before the call, people have said that, look, the CBN leadership and the president must, because again, there's a need to win the confidence of the people that indeed they know what they are saying. If Mr. Cardoso is promising, saying that, look, he's on top of his job, and then a simple matter of operational efficiency, like moving departments to Lagos, and then because some politicians now threaten you, then they will say, we can't trust these people. So that's what even some experts are saying, that beyond all of the critical issues around it, there's also the issue of confidence. Because again, in recent time with the Emefiele issue, now we are Yemi Cardoso, one of the things he needs to first do is to bring about trust in the mind of Nigerians for his leadership of the CBN, and then by extension the president too will begin to now win the confidence of Nigerians that he actually knows what he's doing. But because again, that was a clear political threat to the president, you know, and it is not Ali Ndume alone that is saying it. 40 senators from the north, the 𝗎ᴏ Consultative Forum has said the same thing. The Northern Elders Forum have also said the same thing. You know, so if it's a consensus, it means that it's an issue that has to be taken seriously. But what I'm saying again is that we have to continue to look at the real issues than all of the sentiments that our politicians are bringing up. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Okay, I think we lost that call. Please do well to call back. I think we are still. We can still switch maybe one or two more calls before we call it a day on the show. But because again, we are waiting to see. Again, if you look at what Ali Ndume said, from his statement, he mentioned the Lagos boys. Again, who are the Lagos boys? He just keeps saying the Lagos boys. They think they know more than everybody. They don't know anything. So it was almost getting personal. And then he talked about the fact that he's sure that the president will reverse this decision. He believes the president is a nationalist. So I don't know how being a nationalist will now affect operational efficiency, if indeed this is supposed to help us or get better with our economy. And then there's the issue of Lagos is not Nigeria. Nobody has. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Come back.
Sorry.
Hello.
Yes, your name, sir.
Joshua, come back.
Okay, Joshua, please go on, Joshua.
I want to tell you the latest boss that is referring to.
You are sounding very, very low. Better now.
The Lagos voice is referring to what do they call it? The second man,
the chief of staff.
Chief of staff.
Okay, okay.
And Ďaďabiamila and the rest, the governor, CBN governor.
Okay.
And some of those people that line up to work for him, which are from Lagos, that are serving when he was a governor. Are you getting it?
I'm with you.
Those are the Lagos friends that don't do it. You know those things. He's right. You should just do the right thing.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Joshua. Joshua, in his own thinking, thinks that the Lagos boys have to be. Again, we know the people that came from Lagos with him. Of course, Mr. Yemi Cardoso is a Lagos boy, 100%. Bafemi Ojabamila is a Lagos boy. So if he's saying the Lagos boys, it's not out of place to think that it's referring to the chief of staff. And of course the CBN governor, maybe other boys who are who moved from Lagos to Abuja with the president, but to now say they don't even know anything. This is politics. There was politics before. Everything is politics to Mr. Ndume. Senator Ndume. It's very unfortunate, really, that he sees this issue only from the political point of view. And the fact that why are they moving things around? I think that we can create some kind of equity, fairness, and balance by moving things around. I've said it. If for example, for operational reasons, you can move the Ministry of Agric, the Agric Research Institute. There are things that sometimes make sense when they are close to the resources. If you understand what I'm saying, and that's why people are saying that. Look, there used to be a time even the oil companies, a lot of them put their headquarters in Lagos because of the problem of kidnapping and insurgency at that time. And what was happening was that, look, you see people very early in the morning taking the first flight to go to the Niger Delta. So they stay in Lagos, but they fly every day
to the Niger Delta.
And look at the cost. So again, so if you look again, because nobody really looks at those things, but those things cost a lot of money. Out of station allowances, a lot of things that goes into this junket. Even the safety. What about the safety concerns too, of you having to fly every day, and then what of even the stress, this physiological, psychological, and physical effects that it has on you. So, but again, I thought that Mr. Ndume, as a senator, a ranking senator, is supposed to be a nationalist in his thinking and statements, and would have talked more about the operational efficiency issue that they are talking about than now go. It was actually making sense, if you allow me to use that word. Now he just deviated completely, and then he started to discuss politics and what have you. Also, we've had people say that, look, the reason why some of these politicians, again, I really don't want to even domicile it in the north, are all up in arms against this decision is that most of these institutions are dominated by children, family members, and cronies of politicians. Absolutely. And that some of them like the Abuja lifestyle. Like I said, this is what people are saying. I'm just reporting what people are saying. And so moving to Lagos is a bit of a problem. There's a lot of enjoyment going on in Abuja. I'll tell you.
Yes.
A lot of I said when the person told me, I said Lagos lifestyle, I think I don't believe Abuja is more interesting, even if it's about all of those enjoyment. Lagos has also got a lot of side attractions, a lot of things that can get them happy and engaged if it's about that. But again, we don't know these people. Our politicians know more than what we know. But I think ultimately what we will stand on is that, look, decisions have to be made for the progress of the country in terms of our economy, in terms of health, in terms of education, and in terms of good governance overall. Every other thing is secondary. It's not even supposed to come to the table, because the job of government is not first about ethnic considerations, but about good governance to the majority of Nigerians. I think that's what we'll call it a day on the show, Kelvin. It's been I think it's been interesting, the kind of emotions and energy that comes with some of these issues. Again, these are very, very sensitive issues and has to be handled with care. Nigeria is a country that is completely blessed. Our diversity, I think, is our strength and should be our strength. And until we have committed leaders who are ready to bring people together, give them good governance, we'll continue to have this conversation. My name is Saheed Fuhad. Thank you, Kelvin Nwafeli, for being a part of the show today. And to all our callers, we say thank you for being a part of Open Forum today, Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll do this again next week.